Special sports presentation from the Total Media Sports Network and 105.7 Hank FM. WLGC, Greenup, Ashland, Ironton. 105.7 Hank FM, WLGC, and the Total Media Sports Network presents the Boyd County Lions Coaches Show, a weekly look at Boyd County High School athletics. Live from 105.7 Hank FM, Cool TV Studios. Here's the voice of the Boyd County Lions, Greg Preston.
And hello, everybody, and welcome to Lions Den Live, the Boyd County Coaches Show. Tonight we've got Boyd County head coach Evan Ferguson here with us. His Lions had a win last Friday night over Gallia Academy by a final score of 46-7. And we're to you live from Smokin Jay's this year. And you can see we got some food out here. It's all good. And Coach, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I almost got all my rib scarf down before that happened, but no, we're happy to be here, happy to kick off another year, and I'm glad we're starting off at 1-0 doing it.
Yep, and a good summer for you guys and off to a good start. And tell us a little bit about your team this year.
I think at this point in the year, we're still kind of learning who we are as a football team. Obviously, it's week one, but it's been a fun team throughout the summer and throughout the offseason to be around. These guys have really been committed to the whole fix-it mentality. We realize we want to take the next step, and every year coaches say we want to take the next leap and get better, win more games. I mean, all that cliche stuff we talk about, but I think these guys have the opportunity to do so, and we said, well, we can't do the things the same way, so we've been fixing it and trying to get a little bit better each and every day. Just having more passion, more urgency, doing the little things right go a long way. So I think we've done a good job so far. The staff's done a great job helping me out this year. The players make it really fun, and that's really what it's all about. Those players, they go win the games for us.
And obviously, this is Evan Ferguson. I'm Greg Preston. We got Ian Wilburn over here as well. And, you talk about taking a step forward. Last week was a really good step forward.
Yeah, definitely a good first step of the season to get that first win. I don't think we played pretty, but, we got to play a full game out of that week one, which is always important. We got to really kind of understand where our conditioning needs to be at. Some of our guys did a really good job on that. And there's nothing like game shape. So we got to play. We played most of the guys at least 3 quarters in that game, and that was a pretty good step for week one. Going into that, getting the win was huge. Played kind of sloppy on some things, but we got to tighten that up for this week and make a big jump.
And, everybody talks about everything starting up front. And up front, we're big.
We are big. I'm telling you, we couldn't have the whole team here tonight because they'd probably go broke. But no, we got some big boys up front, and we can be big, but we also got to play big. And I think as the game went, we started to play pretty big on Friday. And I think we played young and inexperienced, I'd say, for the first half, and I was proud of our guys stepping up in that second half and getting the job done. And there's a lot of new guys playing. I mean, we talk about it. There's a lot of guys with some experience, but I told them before the game, I said, everyone's role will be more important this season. And I said, as you grow up and mature, you kind of get more dependent on by more people throughout your life. And that goes just outside of football even. So we got to make sure our guys on the team realize that, as even if you're a freshman, I mean, Big J Carter's got the offers and all that stuff already, but he's going to have to continue to grow and develop. Blake Sexton kind of split time last year, the running back. Right now, he's kind of the dude back there right now. But it's good to see some other guys kind of have some good nights like Weston, and I thought Jace ran the ball really well from the quarterback position as well.
Yeah, and you spoke about Blake. We'll have him here on one of the segments of the show. Had a pretty good night the other night, and I'll tell you what, Friday, when he punched the touchdown in right there with no time left to go into the half, that was a big turning point.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge point, and I think that's the mentality shift that I was looking for, to find a way to get that in. With no time left on the clock, that's a huge momentum part. I mean, it was kind of risky. If we don't get it, then that gives them a lot of momentum to be happy about all halftime. But by getting it in, it's kind of one of those backbreakers. And, it's a team sport. We did a lot to get down there, but honestly, that was one of those moments where Blake honestly found a way to get in the end zone, and that's kind of why that's what we look out of a team captain, a leader. That's the things plays that he's got to make, and once we get everybody else making that play, we kind of added a little bit more of a true red zone period into practice today. When we get in that red zone, we got to find a way to kind of crank up our intensity a little bit, and can't just wait for it to happen. It's time to make it happen. Then it should be blood in the water time. We got to get the job done.
Well, and if he doesn't get that in, there's no time left, and it's a 15-7 game instead of 22-7, so it's a big swing.
And we're kicking off.
Yeah.
And we're kicking off. So I mean, now Connor did a good job kicking a field goal and did a pretty good job on the extra points. We had a couple issues on some other things, but overall he did a good job. We got a great kicker there in Connor, and so that was a big moment for us to get that, and then that kind of gave us the momentum to kind of finish that game off, I felt like.
And I thought defensively your guys really stepped up as well. You held them to, I think, 68 yards rushing for the game, and the Shelton kid's pretty good.
Yeah, I think I was told he's like around 11-1, 11 flat, 100-meter guy. I think our new track coach would really enjoy that from what I heard. That's some serious speed. So, I mean, he was a really nice player. And overall, though, we didn't also know because they had to injure the quarterback. And by no means that, I'm not saying that hurt us, but like the same time, as far as preparation went, we didn't know what to expect out of them going into the week. And, we talked about, we prepared for this and prepared for that and this and that. And honestly, it's one of the most times you're kind of looking over there across the field, looking across the 50, trying to see what they're going to run in the pregame because, I mean, we hadn't seen any two tights, under center look ever in their scrimmages or in their films last year. So, that was a good job of them trying to kind of capitalize where they're at as a football team, but I thought it was a good job for our guys just to react and play our base rules off our defense and get the job done.
Yeah, especially when we didn't even know who they were going to start at quarterback.
No, I just knew that Seven was a dude, and they was going to give him the ball, and they did that a lot.
And they did that a whole lot. You still got time to get out here to Smokin Jace for the Boyd County Coaches Show, the Lions Den Live. And, Coach, if you take a look at the numbers from Friday night, 343 yards on the ground, and, you establish things up front for sure.
And that's huge for us. I mean, we've had some times in the past whenever they shelled us up big time. They really kind of played with a 3-2 box, and, they really widened their outside linebackers out to where they really didn't try to fit it extra with those guys. And we was playing, if we was in 2x2, 10 personnel, or even 3x1, they really made sure to kind of respect our pass game on the outside. And, they were even bailing. Sometimes they dropped their mic. He about robbed Connor Davis on a post route for a touchdown second quarter, but they were really bailing those guys out of there. So I thought it was really good for us just to control the box up front and just chunk it, about 6 to 8 yards at a time, just lean them forward. Now we got to get a little bit cleaner. We just have some better gaps there than what we had, I feel like, and I think those gaps started to hit as the game went, and that's not just on the line. We talked about our aiming point as running backs and how the quarterback's reading that, and that mesh point's got to be better. But overall, that's not too bad. 343 yards rushing is always a good night. Yeah. Heck, we had over 460 yards of total offense, so we'll take that every week.
And a block punt for a safety on special teams.
Yeah, and
Quinn Groves, that was really nice.
Yeah, it was happy to see Quinn get that play and just be opportunistic. I mean, we knew they had the wide splits from what we scouted, and he kind of just went in there. We was playing it pretty safe, but he still just went up there and got the job done. And, we had, the opening drive, Simon Davis picks off the pass. We've forced a few fumbles, and I love interceptions. Obviously, I love any time we get a turnover, we're on defense. But I like seeing us force some fumbles.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just force the fumble of a bad snap or a mishandle. They did have one of those, but overall, we forced. They kind of beat us on a pass route, but we stripped the ball out.
Yeah.
And whenever you're forcing turnovers like that, that means you're playing hard football and you're doing something to cause it. We don't want, we got to make our own luck sometimes, and that's kind of how you have to do it.
Don't forget tonight, you can go ahead and text your questions in too to Coach Ferg at 740-302-3467. That's 740-302-3467. Let's go ahead, step out, and take our first break of the evening. And when we come back, we'll talk more with Coach Ferg about last week's game. We'll also talk some about Rock Hill a little bit later on, so stick around. Back after this.
Big news! Buffalo Wild Wings has great wing deals for you all week long. Come in every Tuesday for Wing Tuesdays. Grab the crew and come in for traditional wings, buy one, get one 50% off. And every Thursday is Boneless Thursday, where you'll get buy one, get one free on the delicious boneless wings. And have them spun in one of their 26 sauces and seasonings. Get them spicy, get them sweet, or get them plain. It's only at Buffalo Wild Wings in Ironton. Price and participation may vary. See server for details. Tax fees extra. Not valid with other.
Football season is here, and around here we don't do game day halfway. Load the cooler, fire up the grill, throw on your team colors and bring the whole crew. Whether you're hauling the sit-up, heading to the stadium, or taking the tailgate off of the pavement, Glockner Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Ashland has a ride built for it. From powerful Ram trucks to adventure-ready Jeeps, we've got what you need to tackle every game day. Because around here, football season isn't something we just watch. It's something we do. Gear up for the game day at Glockner Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Ashland, where we make it easy.
Big news! Buffalo Wild Wings has great wing deals for you all week long. Come in every Tuesday for Wing Tuesdays. Grab the crew and come in for traditional wings, buy one, get one 50% off. And every Thursday is boneless.
Catch every football game at Buffalo Wild Wings in Ironton with the Pick 6 for 2 starting at just $19.99. It comes with 2 entrees, 2 sides, and 2 drinks. Grab a friend and settle in for all the action from kickoff to final whistle. Whether it's a rivalry matchup or your team's biggest game of the season, Buffalo Wild Wings is the place to watch. The Pick 6 for 2 starting at just $19.99. Limited time only. See web or app for details.
Boyd County's home for the Lions. 105.7 WLGC.
And welcome back.
The fan favorite.
In live, the Boyd County Coaches Show from Smokin Jays, joined by Boyd County head coach Evan Ferguson. And, Coach, you've already talked about it, going 1-0. That's always big, getting that first one under your belt.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to put too much emphasis on the first game of the year, obviously, because we really got to play well at district time and playoff time. But it does feel good just to bank one, and you can't win them all if you don't win the first one, all that stuff. But for the fact that we got that first one on the way, it kind of gives you a little bit of a peace of mind going into week 2. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's go focus in. But we just got to be 1-0 again this week. That's all we really got to do. But it was a good, solid win. Anytime you get a win in high school football, I've learned to try to be appreciative of that a little bit more. I always kind of expected stuff a little bit when I was younger as a coach. I just, we got this. But now sometimes we can be, I'm happy with the win, but still not satisfied with how we played. And that's kind of what I've learned a little bit more. Actually, that's old Ben Fritz taught me that saying a while back. Be happy, but not satisfied. And because I'm like, I usually just stay ticked off and miserable about it. I'm like, I'm glad we won, but I just want to play better. I think we should. I'm never really very satisfied with how we play, like ever. I can maybe count on like 2 fingers when I have been since I've been here. But overall, you still got to enjoy victories because the kids work hard. They put the work in for you, and it's important to see victories and celebration of that. And
usually in a football season, the jump from week 1 to week 2 is a big jump after you take care of some of those mistakes.
It is, but that jump's not given. It's definitely earned, and I think today was a pretty good night of practice. Actually, I was very happy with that. Tomorrow's gonna be the first day of school practice, so it'd be nice to see our kids kind of rise to that occasion, be focused in tomorrow. That's always, even Blake was sitting there talking to me. He's like, "Yeah, tomorrow will be great, won't it?" Yeah, it'll be nice and hot, and after sitting around the desks all day getting that first day stuff done at school. But no, it's you got to work your hard each day. Some guys have been doing some extra work on their own, and as a team, kind of getting their different position groups together and getting some work done. I mean, Blake comes in and gets extra work in on the weekend. Some other guys did too. That's the stuff it takes. It's not like I said, those jumps and those improvements throughout the season aren't going to be given to us. It's not just because we play; it's going to happen. Those jumps are only going to occur because we're putting the work in and trying to get better and have purpose to what we do. Have that urgency of we realize that if we're going to reach our goals of being a great football team, we got to do this, this, and this. Because there's no really special secret way of getting there. We just got to get the work in.
Yeah, and I'm sure some of the things you addressed from Friday night, especially penalties.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a way to play tough and physical without playing stupid. And, I want to play with emotion. If you're not playing this game with emotion and passion, then you're not doing it right. But at the same time, you can get a lot of stuff settled in between that 4 to 6 seconds average football play on a Friday night. You just got to do your job, win your battle each time. And sometimes they're good too. They're working hard. Sometimes you're going to get beat. It doesn't make you a tough guy. It doesn't make anything to prove that after the whistle. You take care of that during the next play, and that's what we have to make sure we understand. I don't think we're being dirty by any means. I mean, there was some. It's fine, but we just got to be smart and not be. Right. They always get the guy who retaliates. Yeah, that's just easy to see. I mean, because there's only 5 of those guys, they can't see it all. There's 22 players on the field. They're going to naturally get the guy who retaliates. So we got to make sure we're smarter and realize just get the next play.
And, on the flip side of that, you don't want to take the edge away from your kids either.
There's a fine line to walk. And like I said, you play the game with passion, but you got to make sure that those 15 yards will cost you. And I think we had 2 of them that we just can't have. One of them did offset, but that stuff's just unacceptable, period. And it's not what we want to have as mark of it. We talk about core values, toughness, hard work. That third part's discipline, and that's more than just doing the right thing. I mean, it's the right thing on and off the field, how you play in all aspects of your life and all facets. So, take it a little personal whenever we do something that gets you a 15-yard penalty. Now, it's not always, I can always sometimes see that's not always our kids' fault. But listen, we'd also say no excuses. Got to find a way to get the job done.
Yeah. And obviously Blake had a good game. But you take a look, Cam May, Connor Davis had good games as well. And Braxton Duncan, when he got in at quarterback, a nice big long touchdown run. And so a lot of positives from a lot of different kids.
Absolutely. I told you, I think that after our first scrimmage, I said, I think I've actually found some more guys that are stepping up throughout the year as it goes. And that's always a good thing. Connor's had a great time. I mean, that kid doesn't stop. He's playing a soccer game as we speak right now, so he does a lot for our school. Just a great young man. Cam May, he's had kind of been out there. He's been trial already by fire last year, having to come out and play, and did a good job for us. And we expect big things from him. And he's got big shoes. He needs to step into and take charge of. So, he needs to continue to keep improving and doing what he's doing. Caleb Rimmer, I thought, had a good night. Kind of an unsung guy because we will get the ball to him one time. But played pretty well defensively. He had a couple big hits on defense. And, Jace's long touchdown run on that first drive out of the second half, we off mesh, and Jace scrambles, and he makes a touchdown block about 25 yards down the field. That's just a play that doesn't show up on the stat sheet that goes a long way.
Yeah, man, speaking of Jace, 6 out of 13 in the air, 118 yards. So not a bad night. Could be more efficient, but not a bad night.
No, I mean, overall, as long as we just don't want to throw it to their guys. That's just really only one play I'd ask him to get back, and I think but he was the first guy knowing what was wrong as soon as he came to me. And, it's first game. He's feeling it, kind of trying to make a big play. I get that. And he's a great player. And, I thought he had a fantastic football game, honestly, except for probably that play. Yeah. But, we don't get in that situation that we're not able to do what we do without him. So really proud of what he's doing. And he had a great day of practice tonight and really kind of locked in this last 2 days. So excited to see what he can do this week.
Well, and he made a nice play with his legs on a touchdown run.
Yeah, and he had a couple other nice scrambles. I think he's done a very good job, and showed it even the scrimmage last week against Russell. He's scrambling with purpose a little bit more this year, kind of just going getting the yards. And we obviously don't want him taking a lot of extra hits. There's no reason for that. But at the same time, you can scramble, go get the yards you need to get out of bounds, or, just fall forward, all that stuff.
Right.
But I thought he did a great job scrambling. 118 through the air, 88 on the ground. that's over a 200-yard performance, and he
Yes.
scored 3 total touchdowns. Threw for 2, ran for 1. I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked about us 42 carries, 343 yards on the night. But you have Gagne Academy, they rushed it 19 times and you only gave up 68 yards. So keep that under 100. That's a pretty good night.
Absolutely. I mean, you really want to get the part of that yards per carry down even a little bit more if you can on them. But,
Yep.
I can really think about one play that really kind of escalated that. But 8 yards per carry, and I think our offense is still in kind of the early stages of kind of the diversity it can kind of get to, and the kind of the different stuff we can run. So, but we have to get good sound at our base stuff. And I think what we tried to do last week, establish as the game went, and what we've done in practice this week so far to kind of reestablish that stuff is definitely going to take us to the next level. Those big guys, once they start leaning on you, that's going to wear on people as the game goes, and our conditioning is going to play a big part of that. And we got a good run yesterday on Monday, and today I thought we practiced at extra 15 minutes than we normally do today. So, and we got the job done.
Yep. And I think Ian's got a couple of things over here.
Well, what I was going to hit on was that with Jace, it's his second year. He's a whole lot more comfortable, it seems like, in that quarterback position and being a leader for this offense.
Yeah, I mean, he knows we're starting to, he knows what I mean when I'm saying stuff now. We're starting to speak that same vernacular, that same language because he's been in the system now. And he's a great kid. I mean, a great athlete at any sport he plays. And, he's played in some big moments for us this year. He started the state championship game as a pitcher for us this year. Had a great season there, and he got playing those big moments. He played in a lot of big moments last year for us. But now he can be like, he should do this. Like, I can put something as I'm installing it. Like, well, he should be here, right? I'm like, exactly. And he's starting to understand where his hots are at if they get pressure, and he's controlling a lot of the protections up front. With pass pro, and Braden Blanton at center is also helping set some of that stuff too. And they're understanding where the pressure can come from, and they did a good job kind of limiting pressure on us last week. I think we really had maybe 2 kind of blown assignments there, but for dropping back. I mean, we dropped, according to that, 13 attempts, but, I think I only called Jace to run the ball once, so he had 10 attempts. Right. So, I mean, out of 22 times dropping back, really, 20 of the 22 was pretty good protection, so that's good.
And, you talk about Braden Blanton's doing a really good job, especially after coming back from an injury.
Yes. I mean,
he's still young.
Yeah, he has a high ceiling still to go. I mean, and I think he needs to realize, if he continues to keep his work ethic and his drive, to realize, starting's not the goal, being elite is the goal, and he did a good job, and he's managing the game at center. That's one of the toughest positions in all sports to play, because, you're the only guy who's going to get yelled at it, because everybody in the stadium knows if it's a bad snap. You know what I mean? Everybody in the stadium knows that's a bad snap, and it kills the entire flow of everything. So that's the most important part of it. But then you're also kind of making calls, leading the way up front, setting your huddle, doing all this stuff, and he does a pretty good job there for us. But he's a guy that loves football, and I think he can continue to get better there. And it's good having a sophomore in that job that everybody respects and knows that he can do it. So he needs to continue to take pride in that, and realize that he's got a high ceiling that he needs to keep trying to go get.
Yep.
Well, and another thing that I've noticed is that we were able to rotate a lot of our big guys in and out. So while we are big starting, we are able to keep that consistency even whenever we're subbing our lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I truly don't believe there'll ever be a time in my career I'll ever coach a team as big as this. I mean, again, period. And this team is, as far as up front wise, we are bigger than, honestly, a lot of college teams. I mean, it's weird to say we're that big at this age in the high school football. And I think in a way that those guys, they did a great job kind of coming in and out for us. They all have to kind of keep a little bit of competitive fire, but the brotherhood of, everybody wants to be the guy, but they got to continue to work to make sure, we can just step up if one guy's out or one guy needs a blow, hit the other guy's in, ready to get the job done. But, there's a lot, to me, I got to tell you how big they are, all this stuff. There's a lot of pressure that needs to go along with that, or honestly, because I think this is maybe, if not for sure, I think it definitely has the potential to be by far the best line I've had since I've been here, and I think, we've got a lot of new guys there, but with the size and with the potential they have, they need to be the heart and soul of our football team right now. I mean, as overall, and I'm really proud of them kind of kind of having fun with it this year. There's a good mix of young guys, seniors, all that stuff. And, I think we realize that if you come to the county, we're going to try to push you around a little bit. If they kind of take and put that as the badge of honor on their back and say, let's do it, I think we can be pretty good. But it's going to start up front this year. And like you said, there's a lot of bodies that can do it. They need to make sure they can kind of commit to that and have the mindset of let's go get the job done and win the game up front.
Thought Logan Stevens did a good job up front as well.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great catch. I mean, I think he's a guy who's already had that senior year switch flip. And, a lot of guys have a jump at some point in their senior year where this is my last chance. I'm going to start hitting people, and I think he's done a really good job for us so far this season, and I thought he had a really good game. I probably was bragging on him more in film last week than I have maybe ever. I mean, he did a really good job. He did a good job on like stretch pass pro and some sprint out stuff. And him and Carter, they got a little bit of that like let's play football attitude to him, and took a double team, started dumping people down the field as the game went. And that's what makes football fun, that's why you play the game up front, because everybody just always talks about, they always notice when they do bad, right? Well, I know whenever you start pancaking people on the field, that's when they notice you're doing good. So, guys, keep making those blocks downfield, winning the battle up front. Those first steps are key. And if we have a good, power step off the line of scrimmage and keep our feet moving, I think with the size we have, the mass will start to, work.
Yeah. And, you speak of Carter Gray's doing a great job too.
Yeah. I mean, I think Carter, he's just a kid. If he hadn't got hurt there at the end of his sophomore season, everybody know about Carter Gray already. The kid loves playing football, and he plays it a little bit with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, and he just fights. And I love coaching the kid. And I think he's a smart kid. He understands. He does the right thing too. So that goes a long way. But he plays hard. And it was nice seeing those two seniors together on that side. Then you got Blanton in the middle. And I think Quinn's, it's really his first year on the offensive line. He did a pretty good job for us too. He kind of, he's got the size there, him and Carter at the left side. What they say on Remember the Titans, left side, strong side. Well, it's usually flipped over on the defense, but that's a pretty good job for them.
Let's go ahead and step out, take a break. When we come back, we'll talk to Boyd County running back, linebacker Blake Sexton. Back after this on the Total Media Sports Network.
All sports are.
The fan favorite pretzel bacon pub cheeseburger is back at Wendy's. Stacked with beer cheese, crispy onions, and a soft pretzel bun.
Nice buns, mate.
Boy, who fancy the song?
It's kind of like a pub on a bun, a pretzel bun.
She's the bar of a city, she's the boy of
The pretzel bacon pub cheeseburger, back for a limited time at Wendy's.
Little Caesar says prepare for greatness because this NFL season a legend returns.
Oh, come on, man. I'm not a legend just yet.
Not you, Minnesota Viking Justin Jefferson. It's Little Caesar's Pizza Deal. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas for only $4.99 each. Online only. Use code PIZZA.
Pizza.
Offer available for a limited time. Online only at participating Little Caesars stores. Enter promo code PIZZA online or via the Little Caesars app at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. See our website or app for more information.
Big news! Buffalo Wild Wings has great wing deals for you all week long. Come in every Tuesday for Wing Tuesdays. Grab the crew and come in for traditional wings, buy one, get one 50% off. And every Thursday is Boneless Thursday, where you'll get buy one, get one free on the delicious boneless wings. And have them spun in one of their 26 sauces and seasonings. Get them spicy, get them sweet, or get them plain. It's only at Buffalo Wild Wings in Ironton. Price and participation may vary. See server for details. Tax fees extra. Not valid with other offers.
Football season is here, and around here we don't do game day halfway. Load the cooler, fire up the grill, throw on your team colors, and bring the whole crew. Whether you're hauling the sit-up, heading to the stadium, or taking the tailgate off of the pavement, Glockner Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Ashland has a ride built for it. From powerful...
And welcome back to the Lions Den, the Boyd County Coaches Show. We got Evan Ferguson. Right now we've got Blake Sexton, running back, linebacker. I'm Greg Preston. This is Ian Wilburn over here as well. And Blake, first of all, congratulations on a really good night Friday night.
Yeah, thank you. We just saw what we wanted to see and made plays happen.
Yep. Now, I know you play both sides of the ball and you play both of them well. Would you rather score a touchdown or would you rather have a big hit?
Depends what type of game we're in, honestly.
Okay.
If it's like a rivalry game, honestly, I'm probably picking the big hit.
Okay. Okay.
But if it's a clutch moment, I want a touchdown.
Now, you got the opportunity on Friday night, too, when Jace cramped up to run some quarterback. Are you starting to feel comfortable there some as well?
I'm getting more and more used to it. The more I get reps at it, I think the more reps I get, the more comfortable I feel playing it in a game situation.
Yep. Now, is this anything you've worked on in the past other than this year?
Really, no. This is the first time I've really had to step up and play quarterback.
Yeah. Well, you look pretty comfortable out there Friday night.
Well, honestly, if I really didn't know what I was doing, I was just running the ball every time.
All right, that's a good answer. And defensively, you and your guys really played well. I totaled it up here a minute ago. I think 129 total yards, so a really good night on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, we really rallied to the football. I mean, we knew what they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to get the ball to 7 just about every play. So we really keyed him, and we just went as a unit and made some tackles.
And he could run.
Yeah, he was really quick, really shifty on his feet. Pretty good ball player, but we attacked him pretty well and held him pretty solid.
Yep. And then, the big touchdown there, especially right before the half there, did a great job of bulling your way into the end zone, and a lot of that was you.
Yeah, I knew right then that that could be a big turning point in the game. Right before the half, we didn't have any other chances. I mean, later than that, it was 3 seconds left, so it was either get in and be up 2 scores or still be a 1-score game, and didn't want to leave that on the table. So It's really fought hard to try to get in.
And, obviously you got a lot of guys around you, a lot of good guys around you.
Yeah, the line, they really helped me get in on that play. Without them, I don't have any of the yards, any of the touchdowns, anything. I mean, I can't do anything without them. So
yeah. Well, Blake, I appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you again, I'm sure, somewhere during the season here.
Yes, sir.
And let's go ahead right now and take some text. That number again, 740-302-3467. Again, that's 740-302-3467. We'll let Evan Ferguson come on in here right now. And we're going to let Ian get set up with some questions over here, and we'll let Ian fire away here in just a minute as soon as all this comes in. Don't forget the Lions back at home Friday night against a pretty good Rock Hill team. Rock Hill defeated Memphis last Friday, put up 49 points. So, Coach, that's somebody's definitely got your attention.
Absolutely. I mean, we played them last year, and they had a big opening weekend last year against Memphis, and our guys really had a chip on our shoulder to, last year to get better and kind of prove a point against that Rock Hill team last year. I think we knew we had to step up and do that, and I really hope this year we realize the same thing. And this team is, from what I've been told, they're favored to win the OVC this year. And, there's a lot of teams in that conference. They've always played good football. I've been a part of that, myself in playing days and coaching days. So we kind of want to make sure we focus in on these guys, and they've got a lot of hype around them right now, and we need to make sure that we and they got my attention, and I think we got to make sure that we go show them what we can do.
And, with the film you sent me on Huddle, I got a chance to watch some of it yesterday. Braylon McClellan wears number 1. Pretty good ball player, pretty good athlete.
He definitely makes it easy to identify him wearing number 1 because he's a flat out baller. I mean, the guy he's got great speed at safety. He ranges really well, can cover all the field. They can kind of get away with playing cover 3 on a lot of the teams because you always worry about cover 3, the forward attack, and he's back there in the middle of the field and can really kind of patrol those seams, do a good job. So he makes sure they keep him shelled up, but on defense he can run down and make the tackles for you. On offense, I mean, he's just a threat to wherever he catches that, he could also take it to the house. They throw him some screens, they throw him deep balls. I'm sure they have some other packages too before they've run some jets and stuff to him in the past. So they give him the ball quite a bit. I think their quarterback was a really nice player. Yeah. And I think that was something they really that kid's doing a great job. I've heard he was a sophomore, I think, this year.
Yes.
And I mean, he's got a bright future ahead of him for sure. And, they got some big linebackers, and they play kind of three backs that kind of carry the load for them, 23, 34, and 44. And, 44 and 34 kind of their big dudes, and 23 is kind of their senior, kind of like looks like a true like old school back, kind of does the job, and he's a pretty good football player for them. They also all three play linebacker too. So, they're expecting a lot out of those guys, and I would too. I mean, they're pretty good football players, and I think their line did a good job, of kind of controlling what they needed to do against Benford. And they play an even front, which is something we don't see a lot of, so it'll be some adjustment on what we need to do there. We saw odd last couple weeks in all of our scrimmages too, and it's what we play. It's what basically everybody in Kentucky plays, So, we see a lot of that. So there's a lot of, we could talk a lot about what they're doing, but what do you got for me, Ian?
Yep.
All right. So first one is, so after breaking down film, what position group was the one that stood out the most to you? Positive.
Okay. There's always. I think that overall, I think that we did a really good job in a lot of areas. There's a lot of. I think everybody had some learning moments. Everybody had some things. To answer your question, I think as the game went, I like to see how our line improved throughout the game. That definitely was good. I mean, without trying to be too much, because the guys here, I don't want to brag in front of them too much. I mean, obviously Blake at tailback made the running backs look pretty good whenever he runs for 160 yards. And from that position overall that night, we had 182. Then you had another, 33. So you had about over 200 yards just between, a couple guys there. So, obviously the running backs did a pretty good job. But I thought, the line kind of improving. Defensively, the same. I mean, I thought Blake and Rimmer played really well at linebacker. I thought our Sams did a good job. It's kind of the first time they've had to really deal with a lot of, two tight end sets. So I thought Simon Davis and Miles Bennett did a really good job there for us. So that was a good thing. I think everybody had their ups and downs throughout the game. Even, and it was game one coaches too. I think we just had to settle ourselves down to a little bit, get the job done. Even me, it always feels exciting. I sometimes get a little angry at some guys in that first quarter, don't I? But that was pretty good overall.
Yeah. So last week was televised across the news station. What difficulties did that come into with your game plan coaching?
Getting the drones to quit flying. It was actually interesting. I think in a way we could look at it two ways. I think it could have helped us or whatever in different ways. I think the TV timeouts for week one are kind of nice, giving the guys a long time to hopefully stay hydrated and stretched. So that definitely helps on our conditioning side of it. But it also at the same time, I thought we had probably a little bit more depth than they did last week, and it kind of let them have the same effect of being able to stay out there and keep going. So it kind of was a little ebb and flow, give and take and what was happening there. But it was, anytime we get our kids, I mean, I think you all do a fantastic job week in and week out of, displaying what our kids do and, bringing the game to the people at home who can't make it out. So it was definitely different. I never had to deal with the guy in the red hat before. So he can leave. Other than that, we're good. But I appreciate them. It was kind of fun.
So one of the things you keyed on in your pregame speech was ball security. We've seen two fumbles on the Boyd County side, lost one, able to recover one, and then one interception. Obviously, we want to get that number to 0, but what takeaways can you take away from those turnovers?
I think at the very least, if I look at it in a positive way, I mean, Blake's fighting for extra yards. He does a great job of, kind of getting people, breaking tackles downfield. He's got to be able to do that with taking care of the football. He knows that. I'm not going to try to browbeat him too much. I think he's harder on himself than anybody else about it. I told you, Jace threw a pick, but at the same time, he comes over and knows exactly what he did as soon as he comes to me. So, we're going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. As long as we understand that we all improve from that, as long as we win, it helps when you get to make up for it somewhere else. And, I think to me, Jace's scramble after that and just going and scoring, that's an example of that. Blake made up for his, so overall we got better there.
Well, but you talk about the fumble, but we end up with 2 points out of the one because we got the block punt right after that.
Yeah, if you notice, actually, go back on film, the very next play, they kind of try to run power off the left side, and Blake's there, and he rocks the dude in the end zone, just doesn't wrap up, or he would have had the 2 points on the very next play.
That.
Yeah, so it was, I think that's pretty cool. They definitely kind of buckled down and got it. So, and that's something that's good that we didn't give up the big play after. Last year we had a couple, unsuccessful trips right inside the 5-yard line, and we gave up 90-some yard plays right after that. And we have a 99 one last week. Last game of the year against Lawrence County, we had a 98-yard one against East Carter. We can't let one mistake compound into two. Yeah. So I was proud of how we at least kind of settled that in.
So what challenges do you run into facing these out-of-state teams?
It doesn't seem to. It's not as big of a change with Ohio. We start at the same times of most things. I think they get a little bit more freedom throughout the summer to kind of do more prep in June. They can do June 7-on-7. So I kind of still wish we could, but that's not. It just is what it is because we can go to the college camps and stuff like that. But the biggest thing I would say is that always throws me off when we're on the road in Ohio is, Kentucky is adopted where, we can have the player coach's block go down to the 10-yard line on both sides. And over there, it's the old school. You got to stop. And sometimes you catch me when we was across the river last year, kept drifting down. I'm like, oh, I got to get back. And that's just something that, other than that, I think, the guys out there, it's just football, and we're getting the job done.
With technology nowadays, it's easy enough to get film and everything.
Yeah, most coaches all give you a pretty good honor system. We always send, and to me, if you want to have 5 films from me, I'll send 5. Just send me 5 back. We'll trade it. Just if whatever you can compare and teach your kids is what it comes down to, and how the kids prepare. They're the ones going to play and win it. If they can learn it, let them have it.
All righty. This comes from Jim Bob from Beaver Creek, Ohio. How important has it been to find that early season success again out of state opponents? Does it prepare you for your district?
As far as preparing for the district goes, Beaver Creek, that's up near Dayton. But no, as far as the district goes, I think every team does something different. To be honest with you, I think a lot of the stuff we saw on film that we were prepping for with Gallia Academy is more so what we're seeing on film this week out of Rock Hill, which is kind of, because of the change. But with what Gallia ended up doing, playing a lot of 2 tights, unbalanced sets and things like that, that gave us a really good early look at how to defend a 2-tight set, which we know the elephant in the room there is Johnson Central, and that's something we're going to have to be ready to play the first district game. That's right then that's going to set the tone for entire rest of your season right there. So that's a pretty good thing, and I think Rock Hill does a good job of what they've done. I know Coach Wilds is his first year, but I know he'll have the boys ready to roll.
Yes, and last one I have for you here is, in a film session, what is it that you're breaking down individually as coaches and then breaking it down for your players?
For in film, like as far as like when we're just showing the film to the players, we're making sure to highlight, not just the bad things, but the great things. We also want to try to give a brag whenever you see something really good, because that, you also learn by seeing it done the correct way. As far as, coaches, everybody's got the their own thing they're looking for, on how, when we're scouting, we're looking at ourselves and evaluating how we played, if we executed the call, et cetera. If we did the first, your first step is so important at every position on the field. Making sure we have the good first step, and then once we realize how to carry that on to the rest of the steps, it makes you pretty good at that point. When we're evaluating somebody else, I always, offensively, you're looking at how their front goes, what coverage they're going to do, what's their, how they're playing their spacing on the back end, how are they keying their linebackers, or how they teaching that, why do they set this way? What's the rule here? What's the different stunts and blitzes, et cetera, that they do? What can I do to out formation them to still run our base? What can we do that they don't do well, et cetera? It goes a long way. And then offensively, you look at you want to look at what they do. First of all, I kind of just watch it and get a flow of what do they do? Who's their guys? What do they like to do well? And beyond that, I want to go down and start to look at, what's kind of their base, how do they do their pass pro, how do they, what's their blocking schemes on how they're doing this and that. Does a quarterback like the true progression reads, or is stuff getting kind of pre-called from the sideline and things like that? You just kind of start to break that down and make sure everything fits in our rules, that we don't have any like rule breaker tendencies or setups, so that their formation, that they don't do a formation that would kind of make us have to change who we are. And that stuff we're looking at and breaking down. And as long as we have that done, we want to make sure it's covered. What, could we not call? What blitz can we not call? If they're in this set, we're going to make sure we have that out. Also, what do they do on third down? Third down's where you win and lose games. When the game's on the line, who are they going to? What do they like? What's their kind of comfort zone? Do they like to get creative? Do they like to try to overpower you? That's a lengthy answer of kind of what we look at.
Yeah, but I mean, that gives us and the viewers a good idea of what the coaching staff is looking at whenever it comes to game day.
Yeah, I mean, and you got to stay up on that because the adjustments also have to happen because, they're also looking at what they can do to out formation us. So that first drive, a lot of teams script a little bit of that. So, what do they think they're going to hit us on? What are they doing? Do you think this will set us up on as the game goes? Are they trying to play, the game 2 steps ahead? Are they playing chess or just playing back? Or what are they doing? Like, you kind of just try to read and flow with how it's going and just kind of I don't know. I don't know how it's kind of a little bit of an art to it there on that point too. Just feeling it.
Checkers, not chess.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and step out and take a break here from Smokin Jays. We'll be at Smokin Jays all season long, plus during basketball season for the Coaches Show as well. So come out and join us. Here during football season will be every Tuesday night, 7 to 8. Let's go ahead, step out, take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about Rock Hill. Back after this on the Total Media Sports Network.
All sports.
Football season is here, and around here we don't do game day halfway. Load the cooler, fire up the grill, throw on your team colors and bring the whole crew. Whether you're hauling the sit-up, heading to the stadium, or taking the tailgate off of the pavement, Glockner Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Ashland has a ride built for it. From powerful Ram trucks to adventure-ready Jeeps, we've got what you need to tackle every game day. Because around here, football season isn't something we just watch. It's something we do. Gear up for the game day at Glockner Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Ashland, where we make it easy.
The fan favorite pretzel bacon pub cheeseburger is back at Wendy's. Stacked with beer cheese, crispy onions, and a soft pretzel bun.
Nice buns, mate.
Boy, who fancy the song?
It's kind of like a pub on a bun, a pretzel bun.
She's the bar of A, she's the boy of
The pretzel bacon pub cheeseburger, back for a limited time at Wendy's.
Little Caesar says prepare for greatness because this NFL season a legend returns.
Oh, come on, man. I'm not a legend just yet.
Not you, Minnesota Viking Justin Jefferson. It's Little Caesar's Pizza Deal. Get 2 large one-topping pizzas for only $4.99 each. Online only. Use code PIZZA.
Pizza.
Offer available for a limited time. Online only at participating Little Caesars stores. Enter promo code PIZZA online or via the Little Caesars app at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. See our website or app for more information.
Big news! Buffalo Wild Wings has great wing deals for you all week long. Come in every Tuesday for Wing Tuesdays. Grab the crew and come in for traditional wings, buy one, get one 50% off. And every Thursday is Boneless Thursday, where you'll get buy one, get one free on the delicious boneless wings. And have them spun in one of their 20...
And welcome back to Lions Den Live, the Boyd County Coaches Show from Smokin Jays. Come out and join us Tuesday, 7 to 8 here for the Coaches Show. Joined by Boyd County head football coach Evan Ferguson. Coach, good win over Gallia Academy last week, like we talked about. Another Ohio opponent on the schedule this week. And Rock Hill, last year you went over there, beat them 41-21, and they've got a new head coach now, but a pretty good ball team.
Yeah, I mean I know their 8th grade team last year was a pretty good team over there from what I gathered. So they had some good young guys coming up. I think they had a good team last year, won several games. I think they went
6-4 regular season.
6-4. They ended up winning the playoff game though to give them that 7th win. So that's always a feat no matter what you're doing to win the playoff game. I thought we did a good job last year, kind of controlling the line of scrimmage with them, and we did a good job. We hit some big plays early. I mean, so they're gonna this year. I think their quarterback play is pretty nice right now. I think the kid has an opportunity to be a pretty good football player as we go. So it'll definitely be a hard fought game, and we got to make sure we're doing the little things right.
And it's not like with Trey Wild stepping in as head coach, is somebody that the kids are not familiar with. He was with Tony Love there for 2 years.
Yeah, I think from what I've gathered, he actually called a lot of the defense a couple years ago. So he's been around. He's a kid from Rock Hill. I think he graduated a year or two after me or something over there. Yeah. So he's been he's been in that area for a long time. I'm happy for him to get the job. I know it's kind of go where you've been. That's always a big moment. It can be a good and a bad thing. So,
yes.
But I wish him nothing but the best, except for on Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah.
And, obviously you put up 49 points like they did. They're doing something well up front.
Yeah, for sure. I think they was able, and they can keep you honest because they have enough guys outside. I mean, we've already talked about one. I think Three's a really nice receiver as well. I think they do a lot of good job of getting the bubbles to him, and he made a couple downfield plays. And they have some guys that can also go in and do that. It's not like that just those two. So, but they definitely stood out on film, and I think that we got to make sure our secondary realizes they got we can't ever get beat deep, and make them kind of earn it going up and down the field. And they do a pretty good little inside the 10 package, inside the red zone. They put the big guys in the backfield and can run it a little bit. So that they do a good job of just kind of controlling, doing what they're trying to. They play great on special teams. I think they had two go back, and they really returned the ball well. And when you have great athletes back here, you can do that. But you have to block somebody too. So that was they played really well on special teams last week. And I think we had a big special teams play there with our punt. We did a decent job, but we definitely got to shore that up a little bit this week for us.
Yep. And, you've had a chance to look at Rock Hill for a couple of days now. You got to film on Saturday, and they're well coached.
Yeah, I mean, they've been around, those guys. I mean, heck, I know Rock Hill graduate from Colgrove. They love their football, that's for sure. And I definitely know that they'll be excited and ready to play. And I look forward to what they can do. They do a good job of kind of, they run some similar stuff to what we do. They're a little bit more pistol than we are.
Right.
Kind of there's a lot like what Guy does. They just do a little bit more gap scheme. They run a little more power and counter with it. But they can still do a good job around their inside zones and all the stuff they can do. I think offensively they have a good job. Defensively, they definitely try to, make you they do a good job of shelling it up, but they also, do a pretty good job of stopping the team's run. They kind of get a little bit of a 4-4-ish almost mix. It's 4-2-5 to 4-3. You can argue how that goes all day, but they definitely want to commit to stopping the run. But they keep their secondary definitely disciplined, staying back. So it kind of makes it hard. You got to stay patient so you can get a shot at some point. Or it's got to just keep in chunks down the field. That's really important to do too.
Hey, we talk about them now with us. What adjustments do we need to make from last week to this week?
I mean, honestly, our biggest thing, we got to continue to just focus on us more so than the opponent. I mean, we're going to be the team that beats us 9 times out of 10 if we ever lose a game. It's not because of what they do, it's because of what we do. And we have to make sure that, we are trying to get better at, we talk about, we got to make sure we're doing our first step right. We got to, make the second step right this week, because it's week 2. It's time to keep getting better on that. We got to take care of the football, eliminate that stuff. We got to make sure, if we're going for an extra point on a, PAT, we got to make sure we have 11 players on the field. We got to make sure we step the right way on that because we can't give up. We had 2 of those that were missed opportunities, and that's got to be a given. I think last couple of years we've done a really good job of making that almost a given, and that's got to be a given play for us. Special teams wise on kickoff, we can't give up the big play there, and I didn't think we did last week, but I just know when they've shown they have the ability to do that. So we got to make sure special teams wise we have great pursuit. We stay in our lanes really well on kickoff. Defensively, they got some. They're going to make you. I think they're going to. They can do things well. I'll just say that. I don't want to give too much away on how it all goes, but they can make you commit to the run, and we have to make sure we can commit and stop in the run without having to, commit too many guys to doing it. And I think that's really going to be kind of that's any football game. That's what it comes down to. If you can stop the run with kind of what you're doing base and playing sound without having to make your secondary start to worry about it too much, then you're in good shape. But we'll have to make sure that our front 7 are doing that this Friday.
And last week too, it's a really big deal when you get to play a lot of different kids in a ball game. It gets everybody's feet wet.
Yeah, I mean, it's what they came out to play. They didn't come out to stand there, So it's fun that everybody gets to be a part of it. And I've mentioned about the roles kind of improving and getting better, and there's going to be more and more kids stepping into more and more things of them as this year goes. So it's week 2 now. It's officially here, and we got to continue to lock in. I mean, that school starts tomorrow, so there'll be more distractions with that. But it's an exciting time, and there's nothing like high school football, and we got to make sure we make the most of it. And I encourage everybody to come out this Friday and support us too.
And starter wise, it's always good coming out healthy.
Yeah, it's definitely good that we're continuing to, stay healthy. Knock on wood here as much as I can. This game's that's the most brutal part of football. Sometimes, any sport, you hate to see an injury happen anywhere. I mean, football, it can happen to anybody at any time, but you want to stay full strength as long as possible. And we did a pretty decent job. We're fortunate and blessed that happened last week, and we hope it can do this week. And for everybody who else is playing on a Friday anywhere, I hope it can stay healthy.
And, I've been around for your tenure here, and it's been great. And, you take a look, this team's got a chance to do something special.
It does, and that's the thing that we have to realize. It's going to be a process of getting there, but there has to be some urgency on doing it, and I think that, this is a week that we need to start playing better, starting to look crisp. We got to make sure everything we do has to be a bit more with purpose, and I've used the word urgency a lot, and you guys listen, if you kids are listening, you've heard urgency before. We got to make sure that we, when we're firing up ready to stretch, whenever we're trying to do, special teams, if we're trying to do whatever we're trying to do, we got to do it with passion and do it with urgency to where we don't make silly mistakes. I just hate when we had false starts Friday night. There's no excuse for it. And, we can tell you why it happened, what it can't happen. We can't have, we can say, oh, coach, well, this happened first. We can't have 15-yard penalties. Those things cannot happen. I mean, sometimes in a game you're going to get a hold because somebody went the wrong way. I understand that, but we got to make sure we settle in what we're trying to do, and we got to play with passion. We can't just go block for 2 seconds and look back and see, where's he at? We're going to do our job all the way down the field. And if we have that passion and that urgency to it and just start realizing, hey, football's not that hard whenever I've driven this guy and we got a wall that's going 10 yards to the opposite hash, and I promise you, Blake and Jace and those guys will take care of running the ball from that point if we can handle that up front. And the receivers, we got to block out there too. I mean, if we do that stuff, I know this team can. I know this team can be special, and they might be getting a speech from me right now. But I want them to be ready to go, and I'm tired of us just waiting around to do it. It's time to get it done.
Hey, I know it's week one, and you don't get to do it till you get into a game. But how pleased were you with conditioning?
I think overall it wasn't bad. I think it was a humid night last Friday, so it's going to have some natural things happening there. So. I'm pretty happy that our kids found a way to tough through it. I mean, everybody, did a pretty good job there. So overall, pretty pleased with it. But I think, it can't just, be stagnant. We got to make sure we, continue to condition our bodies, and that's going to help with the weight room stuff. And we got to make sure we're still conditioning, and recovery is important. Ice baths, and we do a lot of recovery stuff with the guys on the weekend too. So they got to make sure they're, ready for it's a long season. It's a grind, but if we want to be playing in December, we better do the right things now.
Yep. Let's go ahead and step out, take our last break of the evening. When we come back, we'll wrap things up on Lions Den Live, the Boyd County Coaches Show. Back after this from Smokin Jays on the Total Media Sports Network.
Big news! Buffalo Wild Wings has great wing deals for you all week long. Come in every Tuesday for Wing Tuesdays. Grab the crew and come in for traditional wings, buy one, get one 50% off. And every Thursday is Boneless Thursday, where you'll get buy one, get one free on the delicious boneless wings. And have them spun in one of their 26 sauces and seasonings. Get them spicy, get them sweet, or get them plain. It's only at Buffalo Wild Wings in Ironton. Price and participation may vary. See server for details. Tax fees extra. Not valid with other offers.
Football season is here, and around here we don't do game day halfway. Load the cooler, fire up the grill, throw on your team colors, and bring the whole crew. Whether you're hauling the sit-up, heading to the stadium, or taking the tailgate off of the pavement, Glockner Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Ashland has a ride built for it. From powerful Ram trucks to adventure-ready Jeeps, we've got what you need to tackle every game day. Because around here, football season isn't something we just watch. It's something we do. Gear up for the game day at Glockner Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Ashland, where we make it easy.
The fan-favorite pretzel bacon pub cheeseburger is back at Wendy's. Stacked with beer cheese, crispy onions, and a soft pretzel bun.
Nice buns, mate.
Boy, who fancy the song?
It's kind of like a pub on a bun, a pretzel bun.
She's the bar of a city, she's the boy of
The Pretzel Bacon Pub Cheeseburger, back for a limited time at Wendy's.
Big news! Buffalo Wild Wings has great wing deals for you all week long. Come in every Tuesday for Wing Tuesdays. Grab the crew and come in for traditional wings, buy one, get one 50% off. And every Thursday is Boneless Thursday, where you'll get buy one, get one free on the delicious boneless wings. And have them spun in one of their 26 sauces and seasonings. Get them spicy, get them sweet, or get them plain. It's only at Buffalo Wild Wings in Ironton. Price and participation may vary. See server for details.
And welcome back to Lions Den Live, the Boyd County Coaches Show with Evan Ferguson on the Total Media Sports Network. Here from Smokin Jays, the home of the Boyd County Coaches Show. We're going to call it Lions Den Live this year. And, Coach, thank you very much for joining us on our first of many. So let's do this about 15 times.
That would be great. I appreciate you having us. Appreciate Smokin Jays taking care, having us out here and taking care of some stuff. That was great. So good night.
Yep, special thanks to the Irwins back here with producing that. We've got Dwayne Fowler back to the studio. We got Ian Wilburn over here, and it's and I really do believe, Coach, that this team has a chance to be really special.
One day at a time, it can be.
One day at a time. So, what's the routine tomorrow with being back in school?
Probably be irritated. Just just make sure. I want to get there in the morning. Make sure all these freshmen know how to get their classes. Make sure we're getting things set up right. At least they have the brotherhood of being around us. And at the same time, as freshman football players, at least you've kind of been around everybody before the year starts. It's not like everybody else. So that's the kind of cool thing. We want to make sure they feel at home with the football team.
And usually after the first day of school, good or bad practice for the kids?
It's tradition says it's usually not the best day.
Yep, that's what I thought you were going to say. It's that's kind of rough, and it's a different routine for you, and everything else.
It doesn't mean I'm saying it's okay to not practice well tomorrow, though, guys. We're going to get it right.
Coach, appreciate your time. Ian, appreciate your time. Dwayne, we're going to go ahead and shut this thing down. So until next week on Lions Den Live, the Boyd County Coaches Show for Evan Ferguson, I'm Greg Preston. Good night and God bless.
This has been the Boyd County Lions.